right? So we had seen about uh, the classification and coding uh, or how the parts are being classified and and the different types of codings that is going to be used. So as we have seen in the last class, there are three ways of coding. One is the monocode, and then the second one is the polycode, and the third one is the hybrid structure. So let's continue with this. So we have already completed with the monocode or the hierarchical structure. So now today we shall see about the second way of coding in group technology. So that's which is called as the polycode, which is the second type of coding method. So in this, it is actually based on a chain structure. Okay. Uh, and in this, what happens is that each digit is independent of each other. So in the hierarchical coding system, the existing number or the digit was dependent upon the previous digit. Okay, right? So, but now here we have uh, the each digit to be uh, each digit to be uh, independent of each other, right? Okay, independent of each other. Okay, and here, so what is going to happen is that each digit, but still they will have uh, a self-contained information that it is going to carry, right? Okay. Now, in this, the advantage is that it is easy to construct and modify because the digits are independent and they carry information, right? But the drawback is that here they carry less amount of information when compared to monocode because each digit is independent. Okay, and though we may have information for each digit that it is going to carry, the thing is that it is not going to be in a traceable manner. So that is the disadvantage over here. So when we take about, say, for example, uh, we have 4 digits. Let us take up 3, 4, then 2 and 1. Okay. So here each one of these digits are independent. So 3 is going to say, for example, whether it's circular, and 4 is going to be the material, right? And 2 is going to be the dimension, and 1 is going to be the tolerance. Let us assume like this. So in this case, for each of these digits, what is going to happen is that uh, the shape that is going to be if it is going to be circular, right? So, but what is going to happen is that we may have, say, for example, 4, 4, and I'll just continue with this same thing, 2, 1, where 4 will be for uh, a square or a rectangular piece or any other work material. Okay, so but still these things are going to be in common. So it's uh, uh, what is going to happen is there will be it will have a jumbled order where we cannot identify, okay, these codes are restricted only for a particular set of family parts, right? So it is not going to be like that. So that is one of the disadvantages in a polycode. So the next thing is about the hybrid structure. So in the hybrid structure, what they have done is that they have clubbed together the hierarchical method coding and the polycode method both put together so that they get the benefits of both these coding system. So in a hybrid structure, the digits are arranged hierarchically. Okay, so they fall into a particular family group so that it is traceable, and the others that the other digits after that are all fixed. So what is going to happen here is that it is going to have the mixture of a coding system by the in the hierarchical system, which takes the functionings or logics of chain structure as well as hierarchical structure. Yeah, and most this is the hierarchical structure is the widely used coding system in the industries. Okay, because of its advantage, because it is going to take the advantage of hierarchical coding system, as well as the polycode system, right? So this is about the introduction about the coding system. Now let us see how these things are grouped. As of now, we have only seen about a general understanding of about the coding system and how it is going to be there. But now let us take up how it has been arranged, what are all the other codes that is just being linked, how it is going to be classified, on what basis. So one of the existing codes, okay, we shall see for now is the Vuso-Praha system, right? Okay, so this is going to facilitate the family of parts, okay, with by identifying the similarities in between this. So in this particular coding system, what they have is about they are going to have 4 digits, okay. 3 of them are hierarchically arranged. So that means the first 3 digits from the left side are going to follow the hierarchical coding system, and the other the fourth one is going to specify what is the material the part is being made up of, right? So the first 3 digits, which is going to follow the hierarchical method, they are going to be carrying the meaning about the part shape, the size, and proportions, right? So these 3 things. So it is going to take the shape of the part, then the size, and then the proportions of the part. Okay, so if it's a cylindrical part, L by D ratio, right? That is going to be the proportion that they are going to see, right? So based on this, they have particular ranges, and if it falls within that particular range, a particular number assigned to that range is going to be used in the coding system, right? So as we are now just seen, okay, so the first thing is that about the part shape, whether circular, hollow, then rectangular, square, solid, fill, or hollow, anything like that, and then the size of it, and then the proportion. So let us go first to see one part. So here we have a particular diagram. So it is going, this is one of the views. So if we assume that this is the top view of the part, and this is the front view, sectional front view. Okay. Now in this case, it is going to be a circular part, and it has got 4 holes uh, on its periphery, right? Okay. And here it is already, if you look at the front sectional front view, here we have no material. That means it's hollow, right? And we look at this, it is going to have a stepped form. It is not just one single cylindrical piece, just like a plain cylinder. It is a, excuse me, it's a stepped cylinder. So it is going to be something like this. So here is the 4 holes that is going to be present. Right? Something like this, right? So this is hollow. So here we have the material for a particular height. Okay, so the total height here they have given is 50, starting from the base, and this height is 30, which has been indicated over here. Okay, right? And suitably, all the things are in concentric manner, so they have the respective diameters: 40 inner diameter, then 50 over here. Okay, and then the outermost, that is this particular circumference, is the 75 mm, right? So it is going to have a one step, right? It's not just a plain cylinder like this. Okay, all right. So based on this, first we have to look at this based on this particular coding system. This is what we have to see. So the first thing is, what is its size? Its size is circular. Then it is having a stepped section, right? And it has got a hollow portion, right? So based on this, we have to assign the code to this particular part. So how it is being done? So the chart is going to be there. So now going to this chart, okay. Now going to this chart, we have the various codes that is being given for each variation, right? Okay. So here, if you look at it, first thing, it is a cylindrical workpiece. So first it's a cylindrical workpiece. So if we look at cylindrical workpiece, that is nothing but rotational workpieces. So we have to see anything within here. Now the next thing is that the center hole is in the axis, and it is a complete hole. Now if you look at it, a hole can be made like this. No hole at all, that means a solid part. Blind hole, that means only to a particular extent or depth. And the other one is a complete hole from one surface to other surface, right? So in this case, if you look at the part, it is a complete hole from one end of the surface to other end of the surface. So it's going to be a through hole. So the code for that is going to be 3, right? And yes, so next is that what we have is the so first thing, it is going to be a rotational workpiece. Okay, so and it's going to have a through hole. So the first code is going to be 3. The next thing that is going to be there is about the size of it. Okay, right? And for this size, now if we have to take the proportionality L by D ratio, so maximum the step that we had was sorry, the entire thing was 50 mm in length or the height of the workpiece, and 75 mm is the maximum diameter, right? So in this case, we have it here and here. So L by D ratio. Okay, so 50 by 70, we get some 0.67. Okay, so that falls in the range of 3 from the chart. Okay, right, where we have this range. So where the L by D ratio over here. So less than 1, 1 to 6. And so this is for a blind hole, right? Okay, right? Okay, next. So the next thing is that the whole axis holes are not in the axis. Okay, that is these particular holes that has been these particular holes that has been made are not at the center of the workpiece. It is somewhere outside. It's eccentric, so not on this particular main axis, right? So thereby, for that also we have is that holes not in axis. So they have given what they mean. It is like this. Okay, right? It is like this. Okay, I'll just enlarge it. Here in the chart, we can see hole not in axis. So now if you look at it clearly, we have the holes are to be placed on the outside. Okay, so for this particular part, the holes are placed outside. So next two is the code. Okay, but here if you look at it, if it is on the axis, it is going to be 1. So it is just going to be only over here, and there's a hole directly at the center. Okay, right. So yes. So the next thing that we have is what is the material. That is the 4th digit, that it is the information that it is going to carry, right? So here for this particular thing, they are told it is made up of plain steel. So the material code for that is going to be 1, right? If it is going to be heat treated and some other material, yes, they have another code 2, then here 3, right? Similarly like that, right? So this is for about the this type of coding system that we have. So here this is for one example. So here we have the kind of workpiece, then the gear, whether the part is having a geared or a splined surface on the outside, right? If the part is being made up of flat and irregular, then the code used to be 6. Okay, if it is like a box type, then we have to have 7, right? And any other, then it is going to be 8. Okay, right? And then similarly, so based on the hole, okay, whether it's no hole, then it has to be with 1. It's a blind hole, then 2. And then if it is a blind hole, we should have L by D ratio also. And through hole, we are going to have the number 3. And here, if it is got to have geared or splined, whether it's internal or external, okay, if it has got a hole inside, then it is no hole, then only 4. Then if there is a through hole, then it is going to have a 5, that is the number assigned. Yeah, right. So similarly, there are different combinations. If you have flat workpieces, flat and parallel, right? And then they are going to have a different code for that. Okay, flat and other types, rectangular, and all these things, which is generally possible for the part that the industry is going to come across or they're going to manufacture, right? So for that, this complete chart has to be prepared. So this is the reason why in the previous class I had mentioned that how the families are grouped. So the designer has to first understand what are all the parts that the industry is going to manufacture, right? And based on that, what are all the problems that they will come across in day-to-day time. So whether the holes can be situated in the axis or not in the axis, it can be a flat workpiece, L shape, right? So on things. So for that particular thing, the entire chart like this will be prepared, which is being done by the designer, right? So based on this, then the people in the industry can group their parts or products that they manufacture, right? Based on this chart. So the next thing is that we have the OPTIS system. Okay, in the OPTIS system, this is another way of having the coding in group technology, right? So which was actually developed by Optis and Acentech University in the Acentech University in Germany, right? So this is again a hybrid structure where they have a different method. So one of them is that the second, third, fourth, and fifth digits, all these 5 digits starting from second, okay, all depend upon the first digit. So that means they are going to follow the hierarchical structure, right? And then actually it consists of totally 9 digits. So the first 5 is like this. So second, third, fourth, and fifth digit is going to be based upon the first digit, and then the 6, 7, 8. Okay, the remaining 4. Okay. Can be expanded furthermore if at all it is required. Okay, so for the first 9 digits are called as the primary code, and the next 4 digits will be called as the secondary code. Okay, so if at all it is required, they can use it. Okay, and the secondary code identifies the purpose of production operation, type, and sequence that it has to be carried out. So if you look at this, this wasn't actually there in the previous one. So here totally 9 digits, so a little bit larger than the coding number, and this will have a complete set of details, which is specially meant for the production shops. Okay. Right. Okay. So the first digits are also called as the foam code. Okay, which represents the basic shape. Okay, and the class, whether it's plane surface milling, auxiliary holes, gear teeth, and so on details. Okay, right? So on details will be there, will be mentioned. Right. So this is about the uh, Optus code. So let us see how it is going to be there. So here is the Optus code for the first, second, third digit. I'll just minimize it. It's a so here we have the first digit, second digit, third, fourth, and fifth digit, which is the primary set of codes to be there in one single table, right? So now we'll come back to this. We'll go to the this previous diagram. We'll take this diagram itself, okay, which has got a stepped circular shape of material, workpiece, okay, and having a core, having a hollow surface at the center, 4 screws on the outer periphery, right? So for this, first thing is the first digit is going to be on the L by D ratio, right? So the height of the material is 50 and the maximum diameter is 75. So 50 by 75, 0.67. It lies between this range, 0.5 to less than, 0.5 to 3 L by D ratio. So it's going to be here. Okay, so this is going to be number 1. Okay, then the second digit, okay, whether it's going to be threaded, no threading. Okay, so based on that they're given here. So 0 for smooth surface, no shape elements. So there are no shape elements, but it is not a smooth surface. Third one, they can have an internal thread. Fourth one, there's a functional groove. Okay, right? And similarly, many other things. Okay, so in this case, if you assume it is going to be a smooth one, okay, then we can go on for 0. The third one is about the internal shape. Okay, the internal shape. The internal shape. Okay, and internal shape elements. So again, over here we can have whether it's no hole, what is the shape element, okay, and the threads, right? Functional group, almost the same things what are there. So all the second digit explains about the outer surface. The third digit explains about the inner surface. Whether the second digit we can have external thread, right, and grooving, taper turning, and so on. But in internal, on the internal surface, it can be a solid or it can be hollow, smooth finish, internal thread, right, and so on things. So that is for the third digit. And then for the fourth digit, it is going to go for the plane surface machining. What is the type of machining that it has to be done? Okay, so here whether it has to be no surface machining, no machining to be done on the outside at all, because say for example, if there are certain the outer casings of the pump, etc., need not have to be machined at all. So once it is been casted, that's the end of it, right? So no need of any machining over there on the outer surface. So it is like that also, right? Okay, so that is, so in that cases they will use 0 code. And then when it comes to where the surface is plane and it has to be curved and so on, there can you go on for 1, okay, and similarly, and there you have an external groove and a slot to be prepared on the workpiece. Yes, like we'll have for 3. And the fifth digit will have the auxiliary holes and gear teeth. See, auxiliary holes and gear teeth. So if there is no auxiliary hole, then they have to use 0 as the code. The holes are auxiliary, then 1, right? So there's an axial hole and there's a pitch circle diameter, then they have to go for 2, right? So all these things, so here you can see in the later on stage, if it's a spur gear, it has to be used by 6, bevel gear 7, any other gear teeth, worm gear, and so on by 8, right? So the part may look similar, but they may have different features like this. So each one of them is determined by giving these types of code, which is being checked from the chart that has been given to them by the designer, right? So these are the 5 digits that they have it in the OPIDS coding system. Yeah, so here they have the for the codes for the OPIDS for rotational parts in classes 3 and 4. So if it is going to be rotational components, again, what is the L by D ratio, right? Then the next one we'll have what is the overall shape, right? So whether it's hexagonal or circular or square bar and so on things. Okay. So rotational components with curved axis, then you're going to have 6. Okay. And here in rotational machining, so that means if we want to do some machining related to based on having it on the lathe machine and so on, right? No rotational machining, that means we are not going to use the lathe machine or anything like that, or a drilling machine, then the code is going to be 0. If it has to be machined on the external shape, then it is going to be 1, and external surface with screw threads, here it is going to be 2. That is the third digit. That is the, actually speaking, 5 plus 3, that is the 8th digit that it is going to mention, right? So if it has to be a smooth surface, then 3, right? And then internal surfaces are going to be different, right? So similarly, onto the 4th and 5th digit, yeah, we have plane surface machining, and the auxiliary hole details furthermore extended. Yes. So the class of parts are determined basically first is by the L by D ratio over here, rotational part or not, and the remaining 4 digits in the primary are also called by supplementary code, which has been classified based on the size, material, raw material, accuracy that is required. So that is what has been indicated over here. So for that particular part, so if you look at this, the first digit, it's going to be like this. The first 5 digits is going to be 11102, because first one is going to indicate the L by D ratio. We're going to get it in 0.67. So we have the range over here. So rotational part 0.67, that means 1. So 0.5 to 3, right? And then the second step is going to tell about whether it's to be stepped at one end and shape elements, right? So if you look at this, so no shape elements, that is only it's a cylindrical shape, no steps at all. Okay, but there is a shape on one end, so it has to go for number 1. That is going to be the value for the second digit. Then no plane surface machining at all. Okay, so there is no need of anything to be having a plane surface machining at all over here. Then we have 2 axial holes on the 2 is being used because axial holes are there on the pitch circle diameter. If you look at this diagram, we have the holes to be made on the pitch circle. Okay, right? So thereby, for that, the code that has been given over here, axial hole, okay, on pitch circle diameter, which is going to be 2 over here in this case. So that is why, based on this, for this particular diagram, we will have 1110. So that is going to be the code that will be given for that particular part using the Optitz code system. So the next thing is the KK3 system, where it was developed in Japan in the year 1976, okay, by the Japan Society for Promotion of Industry, where a group of industries have formed an association and come up with this standard. So the general classification over here, it actually contains 21 digits. Okay, so 21 digits having more information in depth, every step by step over here. So this is required actually where if an industry is going to start manufacturing a product right from its initial stage, that is casted, then machining, quality checking, then assembly, and so many other features. So for in that particular case, they will go for this particular one. Yeah. So in the KK3 system allows 2 digits, the first and the second, to the functional names of the part. Okay, so what is the part name, right? Whether it's a nut and a bolt. So like that, the part has to have a name. Okay, so based on that, the names for each names of these part, a code has been assigned, where this is, so this code is going to be the first 2 digits. Okay, so if we say engine, Okay, so engine is going to have a particular code number which will be represented the first two digits. Nut and bolt, another thing. Washer, another code, right? Piston, another code. So all these parts, even though they are cylindrical or square or whatever it is, the first two digits will carry the name of the code for the name of the part. Okay, right? So that it's easy to identify. We need not have to jumble up everything. So we can easily identify this by just by looking the first two digits. And if we take up the chart for the first two digits, immediately we can find out what is the name of the part, right? So that is easy to retrieve it. So yeah, right. Yeah, and thus classify functional names, okay, for whether it's going to be rotational or non-rotational types also. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So okay. Yeah. There is the other one is the MI class. Okay, which is the Metal Institute classification. Actually developed in Netherlands, but overtaken by the US standards, okay, for industrial research. So uh, they have incorporated this into their standards in the US industries, okay, which actually has a chained structure codes of 12 digits. Okay, they will have 12 digits, okay, and used to classify the design and manufacturing characteristics of the part. Yeah, manufacturing characteristics of the part, right? So uh, what it's going to take place is that there is the main shape, then the shape elements, dimensions, ratio of dimensions, and auxiliary dimensions, along with tolerances and the material also. So all these things put into the 12 digits is going to be this MI class coding system. So in this case, the first four digits are going to be related to the form of the part, that is the shape, right? What are the element and all those things. So whether it's circular, then square, rectangle, and so on. And then which indicates the form of the final product. It could be rotational, box-like, anything, non-rotational types also. And then the shape elements for the second digit, second and third digits, whereas whether it's got any holes or slot that has to be made onto the part. And the positions of these elements are specified by the fourth digit. So where is it being placed? On the axis or apart the away from the axis, concentric, right? So like this, so that is going to be determined on the fourth digit. So then the fifth to eighth digits provide the dimensional details. So here they're not going to they're going to look into the dimensional informations, okay, which are fits into that range, okay. And here we can also have the auxiliary dimensions to be, which varies from the main shape to the part, right? So that is the use of this. So wherever there's a major change in the dimensions of the part, okay, they will go in for this type of system, because there's a greater change compared to the before the before the uh, part that is going to be manufactured and after it is going to be manufactured, right? So thereby there is going to be that, right? Yeah, yeah. The 9th and 10th digits are going to indicate the tolerances, because for machining operations, tolerance is a very important character. We cannot have all the parts to be having the same exact dimensions. There will be some slight variations, and 11th and 12th digits will indicate the machinability index of the material, right? So that has been assigned to the 11th and 12th digit. So apart from this, they can have uh, as many as 18 digits in overall, okay, which is needed for further information if at all they want to incorporate into this particular type of part family, right? So as we have seen here, so if it is, so here first digits, 1 second, yeah, here it is. So the first digit is going to main shape, the second and third for the shape elements, whether it's round, cylindrical, what is to be done. Portion of the shape elements is to be the 4, and fifth and sixth digits, the main dimensions. Whereas cylindrical, if I have a cylindrical shape, what's the diameter and height, okay, right? And what is the dimensioning ratio for the for the seventh digit, auxiliary dimensions. If we have any kind of steps and other things, so it is going to be indicated over here. 9, 10, 10 digits for the tolerance that the part has to be, in which the part is either being made or it is already being made, right? So if it is going to be made for a part that has to be machined, so tolerance is going to be indicated over here. Or if it is already a finished product, okay, what is the tolerance still that comes into picture for the entire range of products, I mean number of pieces that is there, okay. And then the 11th and 12th digit is going to indicate the material code. Apart from this, we can have another 6 more, totally carrying 18 digits, okay. If they need any more further information to be incorporated, they can have another 6 more codes to be added up over here, carrying significant, each digit carrying information, significant information. Right? Okay. So we'll stop here for today. Thank you.